Hello, my name is Alan, and today I am facilitating the second of what is turning out to be four, because I had an injury last week, so we're down from 5 to 4 sessions. Second of 4 sessions of Season of Dreams. This is Blake Ryan's PBTA game in development, of characters slipping back and forth from a kind of Celtic fairy called the Gloom and the real world. So far, we have only experienced gloom, and we'll be continuing the gloom today, and then hopefully next week we will be back in fairy, back in the real world. We're missing one player today. They had something else that they couldn't give up today, so we're down to 3 players. But we'll worry about that absentee next week when they're back. So. This game is organized as part of the Gauntlet monthly calendar. If you don't know about the Gauntlet, please look it up or check out the first in this series for a bit more detail. This is a kind of slightly whimsical, I think, though I have a suspicion today might get a little bit darker because of where I'm thinking the characters are. But it's quite whimsical fairy where everyone plays either a human or one of the many anthropomorphic species inhabiting the gloom, able to appear human when they transition to the real world. So we are playing, as all Gauntlet tables do, with safety tools. We've got lines and veils set up. I won't go through that or the X card because these players were here last time and know how we deal with those things. We're also playing with an open door, so if something comes up and you have to step away, I had to just before we started recording, that's fine. And we're also playing with the Gauntlet code of practice, which I often summarize as "don't be a dick," because that's no fun for everybody. So, as I say, my name is Alan. My pronouns are he, him, and in character keeper order, then let me ask Paul, say hello and tell us something about Fungo Smedley.
Hello, I'm Paul, he, him, and I'm playing the anamorphic character Fungo Smedley, who is a sort of a goat person, a satyr, but I think his animal origin is goat. And yeah, last time Fungo assisted the other players in capturing the 3 griffin feathers, but also the 3 griffin eggs, and set up a system where we've got some false griffin feathers. Hopefully we can do some deceiving with that. That's Fungo.
So many feathers and so little time. Moving along, Greg, say hello and introduce us to Velura the Lugat.
Yep, I'm Greg. He, him, and Velura is a bat woman, so kind of humanoid bat woman. And let's see, she's her virtue is courage, and her vice is greed. So,
and certainly she got away with a lot last time.
Yeah, she was able to grab the griffin egg and take off with it.
Literally.
Yeah.
And finally, Matthew, say hello and introduce us to Kit, the Viveru. You are muted. Or at least we can't hear you.
Hello, can I be heard now?
You can be heard now. Please
Oh
take the
my
floor.
gosh. Yes.
So many cables.
So many cables. Yeah.
So say hello, Matthew. Introduce us to Kit.
Yes, I'm Matthew, using he, him pronouns, and playing Kit Baxter using she, her pronouns. Kit Baxter is a sort of a capitalist fox who is probably more clever than she gives herself credit for, but probably a little more foolish than she realizes.
Time will tell. So we ended last time with you. We started last time, rather, kind of with you engaged in a mission to collect Golden Griffin feathers. And that went terribly well, really, in as much as not only did Velura manage to pick up both some discarded feathers that are presumably, molted from the bird, from these griffins, but also one of their eggs, and escape with them. But at the end, when the griffins were stilled, put to sleep by the character who's missing today, Shelly Widdershins, the human, he was able to retrieve real kind of fresh, inverted commas, griffin feathers. These are golden griffins. That's what makes them very valuable. I can't quite remember if we decided why they were valuable. We'll worry about that in a bit. But I think we did decide that the patrons for this escapade were members of the Three Coins. Now, the Three Coins are one of the 4 factions that rule the Gloom. They are the capitalists. They are merchant princes and nobles. And their capital is the City of Murias. And I'm not quite sure what medieval capitalists would look like. So I've opted for the kind of sense of what's behind me for Murias. Not quite dark satanic mills, but quite dark, I think. And that is where you need to take the things that you have stolen. But there is a neat move in the game for traveling across country. So we left you last time, I think, materializing in a wood below the mountain where you had collected these goods from. I think you stumbled on an accidental gloom event that allowed you to kind of step through a portal off the mountain, leaving the people, the creatures who were competing for these feathers and eggs, you assume, members of the monarchist faction of the Gloom. So the city of Murias is about 20 kilometers from the foothills where you have materialized. And what I want to suggest is that one of you is going to act as the guide. Now, if you look at the other moves tab in the Character Keeper, you'll see that there's an outdoor adventuring section. There is the guide who is all about getting you where you need to get. And then there is someone who is there to kind of keep a lookout. So based on the description of the move, who do we think is most likely to be the guide? Fungo, what do you think? Who's the best place to be your guide on this cross-country trek? You are muted.
I would say Velura, due to the fact that can get distance, height, and get some overview.
That works for me. So Velura, let's have you roll with what is it? Expertise.
And is it 2d8? Is that what we do here?
No, it's 2d6.
Okay.
The GM rolls d8s in certain circumstances.
Gotcha. Let's see. You can change your dice color, right?
Yeah, you can. Can you see that there's a box at the top left, which is currently gray?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, if you go in there, then you should be able to then pick a color of your choice.
All right, let's, all right, what did I do? Bam. All right, whoop, there, oh my God, what's going on? This is too crazy. All right, there we go.
Okay, so you're the red ones.
All right, now I'll roll.
Okay.
All right, 8. Oh, 8 plus expertise. Let me see what we got here. 0, so it's an 8.
I'm going to give you, I would have given you +1 just for the advantage of being able to fly above the group and get a lie of the land. So on an 8, let's check this move out. 7 to 9, of course, half original time wasted because I think that you're probably in highlands or mountains. You're heading towards the coast out of the highlands. So chasm, portal rift, or storm. What is your preference for what you're gonna run into Velura.
I'm sure a
and what-
bat's not going to fly very well in a storm.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why you're not making good progress.
And what move is this?
This is guide, direction and
Guide.
distance.
Okay. Let's see. 8 to 10. Time wasted because. Yeah. Let's do a storm.
Okay, so
Or what about a portal rift storm? Or
oh,
is that yeah?
I'm prepared to have portals, rifts in the time-space continuum whipping across the gloom.
All right.
Kit, you know about these events. You know, none of these are surprises to people who have been born and brought up in the gloom. So what's the best way to avoid being sucked into one of these rifts and spat out who knows where?
And there we go. Me and the mute button today. I think like we're talking like in this milieu we're talking about like some kind of supernatural or like kind of like holding things or whatever, or like
yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you think that last time when you stumbled upon a gloom event, I think, which was just a
Yeah.
thinning in the reality that allowed you to step off the mountain back to where you were going to rendezvous. So it's like that, only it's a little bit more random, and you can get sucked into these rifts, shall we say?
Yeah, sorry, my question was more like, I mean, I understood that. My question
Sorry.
was more like, so would that be something that would be like what would come off as a superstition in our world? Is that what you mean? Like, for example, here's an idea I have in my head.
Okay.
Like, to get past the rifts without getting sucked through, you have to hold two sticks together while walking backwards or something like that.
Okay, no, that works for me. This sounds like, what does it sound like? I think it sounds like, well, you tell me, is this physical, mental, social, or are you weaving? I don't think you're weaving magic.
How is my weaving magic? My weaving magic is not the best. I mean, I got an expertise of -1.
So let's use weave magic, not to do magic, but to understand this magical event. Does
All
that seem
right.
fair?
That seems fair.
So charm or expertise?
All right. Ooh, good thing I've got a little bit of 0 charm. Let me pick out my. I take it you wanted me to roll this one, so
Yes, please.
I will pick out my dice. There. Let's go with the gray ones for now. I'll change those colors later. Yep, rolling that. Wait. Ooh, what's that? Is that a 3? That is a 3 plus 0.
Okay, well, the good thing is that you mark experience.
Yay!
Let's see. What I think I'll have you sucked into a rift.
Whee!
Whatever it was
Oh.
about rubbing 2 twigs together and looking north, clearly isn't true. So, what does it look like when you're sucked through a rift, Velura? No, Velura.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Yeah, you okay. So these rifts, we'll say it looks like lightning. Like the lightning is rifts, right? This lightning comes out and from anywhere. And so well, the one question is who's holding the egg, right? Who's holding our stuff?
Well, I know you're carrying the egg, I think.
Okay, yeah, I know she was last session. So yeah, what happens is this purple lightning kind of shoots out, and what it does is it's like a crack, and things kind of get sucked in for a moment. And so Velura will say gets sucked into the crack. So one question is she stuck? Like, does it chop her in half? Well, that might just end the story, right?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like an appropriately.
But it could be maybe she gets stuck. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that she's in both, she's just kind of like flailing in the sky. Is she
Oh, wow.
falling because of this? I don't know.
No, I think this is quite cool. So okay, so she's in the sky. The lightning, the rift kind of flashes down, and she is sucked into the rift, so that maybe one wing and one arm and a leg are inside the rift as it pounds her down to the ground, and she's on the ground with kind of this kind of glimmering slash across her body. Is the egg on this side of the rift or the other side of the rift?
Well, let's make it fun. It's on the other side.
So we appear to have lost the egg. The feathers, let's say, are on this side. So Fungo, what are you going to do?
Is the rift still open?
The rift, I think at the minute, Velura is fighting to stay on your side of it while it is sucking her through, trying to suck her through to the other side. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to shout out, go and get the egg and push her.
And follow her, or just...
well, what can we see on the other side?
Well, let me be clear here. What I think we've got is there's a glowing bit of lightning in the air, and half of her you can see, the other half you cannot see. Yeah, so it's as though this lightning has cut her in half. She's perfectly all right, but so you can't see the other side at all. And if you push her through, the risk is it will close.
Well, let's push her through and go with it.
Oh, right. And just all join hands and allow it to suck you in.
Well, I mean, that's up to Kit if he wants to join in. But...
Kit, Fungo gets a firm grip on Velura and says, stop fighting, and starts to push her through. What do you do, Kit? Oh, I'm afraid you are muted.
What am I today? There's a slight temptation in me to like sort of like yank him back, but yank her back. But no, I help him push in.
Okay, and all three of you stumble through this crack in reality,
Woo!
into the light of a campfire. So I'm imagining a pile of you just emerging out of this rift in a stumbling out into a pile of bodies in the light of a campfire. And it is a campfire surrounded by, what could it be? Yes, it's a campfire at which there is some kind of ritual going on. What do you do, Velura? You get through first, juggling the egg as you come.
I'm almost thinking he pushed me because I said, I lost the egg. I lost the egg, right? Like I dropped it or something. And so what I'm thinking is we fall, we're outside the campfire, and the egg is maybe had rolled to the edge of this. So maybe whoever's at this campfire, they don't see it yet. Or maybe they have, I don't know. But we see it, but it's, within reach, but dodgy.
Okay.
We're in the moment. In the moment, it is on the precipice of like observation, wherein the egg rolls, and like whoever is there on the camp is like, I don't know, eating or doing whatever. And the moment we occupy is like those 3 seconds before they go.
Yes. It's a ritual beside a lake. It looks like, Fungo. What do you do when you kind of gather your wits?
I would like to create I'm going to cast a spell.
Oh.
I'm going to cast illusion. So I'm going to have the wood sort of splutter and pop, and basically a lot of smoke start to rise out of the fire to obscure their vision.
Oh,
And a lot
right.
of sound of sort of like popping wood as it burns, crackling. So that should give us a distraction to get in there and pick up the egg.
Okay. So go ahead and weave magic, which is charm or expertise.
Well, I think this will be my knowledge of magic, so expertise.
Fine.
Here we go. 2 dice selected. 6.
So actually,
Nope.
Plus 1, giving me 7.
What were you going to say, Velura?
So do I look like a bat or do I look like a human?
Ah, good question. Yeah, very good question. You look like a bat. You are still in the gloom. Yeah, very important question I hadn't even thought about. So, sorry, that was a 7, did you say,
Yeah.
Fungo? Okay, 7 to 9, success, but decide one option that fits the story. Backlash, environment, natural animals or plants, blah, blah, blah. Which one?
I think environment. And it says there ignite combustibles. I think that fits very well with the fire.
It does. I think that it appears to pop, and at the point it appears to pop, it does pop, and a burning brand spins out into the wood and begins a fire in the trees around you. Maybe they built it under an overhanging tree and the branches caught fire. I don't know, but there is now a fire in play. Kit, what about you? So you have a smoke screen and a potential forest fire, and Velura has lost the egg and it's just rolled over there.
Well, my first priority is like all of these things are worthy of my concern for sure. But the egg, let's go for that.
Okay. Does that sound like reflexes to get there in a hurry?
Oh yes. Reflexes. I am rolling 2d6 plus 2. Let's roll. That's a 14.
Oh my goodness me. So success, character achieves their goal. Somehow I always feel when it gets to be more than 12, there ought to be a bonus in every PBTA game. So I'm very happy for you to tell me what else you do. What makes this work so well or look so spectacular?
Like I'm trying to get a mental picture in my head of everything that's going on because it's so chaotic. I would say like when I get the egg, I manage to like grab it so quickly that I'm able to roll into cover before I get noticed.
Fine. So you are in cover on the edge of the firelight. Velura, let's come back to you. You've seen all that.
Ears are pointing
at. Velura, you've seen all this happen. Whatever was going on around the campfire is now disturbed by both a sudden kind of smoke screen and a tree having caught fire. What do you do? Oh, you are muted.
What sort of creatures do we got doing this ritual?
Okay. It appears to be humans.
Okay.
Which is quite unusual to see a whole group of humans. Because this is not, this is an integrated society where single creature groups outside the family are not common.
Right. And I imagine humans aren't super popular or not common in the gloom.
I think that they are no more common than any one of the other intelligent races. So, yeah.
So Kit got the egg.
Yep.
We got the fire going. And Velura is, the fact that this is a group of humans has got her intrigued. And so She is okay. She's either gonna try to take something useful for one of the humans, or if there is like a bit of supplies or this ritual, if there's an altar, she wants to investigate these humans.
Okay.
And her way of doing that is by taking something.
Yeah, what better way to get to know people than to steal their stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, does that sound like you're not conning them out of this? You want to do this with speed and stealth, I think, don't you?
I guess her reflexes are on -1, but oh well. Oh wait, maybe wait, let me see. I'm gonna look at her moves for a second. Actually, what I'm gonna do is summon a bunch of bats.
If
They
in
will
doubt.
scout the area for food, danger, how, white, and who. So yeah, she's gonna pull some bats down and see what they know of this human group.
Fine. So commune with bats.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's
And
that's
if
not
they
going to be
want to steal something, that's fine too.
okay. So she calls on the bats and 8d8. So roll the 2d8s at the top of the sheet just to get some idea of how many
do
bats.
I have to roll for this move?
No,
like
you just
sort of
it's just how many bats you get. It could be
okay.
one bat.
Cool. Gotcha.
Deja
All
vu.
right. Okay, 7 bats.
No, that's 6 times 1. So that's 6 bats. So six bats.
Yeah.
Flutter out of the woodland, avoiding the flames and the smoke. And what do you do while they are collecting this information?
Yeah.
Are you just going to sit there?
No, I'll do my own theft kind of thing.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll give you +1 for, I don't know, this sounds like what?
Wits?
I think this sounds like expertise or wits, to surreptitiously take something.
Yeah, we'll say expertise because this seems like a skill, right?
Yeah, it does. So. It does. And I'll give you an extra +1 for the kind of commune with bats part of this.
11.
Oh, well, what do you know? So I will tell you that they appear to be the bats pick up some mules with boxes on them, and they appear to be involved in some kind of ritual to allow them to cross this lake. It sounds like it's some kind of, maybe there's something in the lake they need to appease. Don't know. But it's certainly something about safe passage across the lake. And there are some canoes at the bank as well.
Excellent. I guess what comes to mind is that there's some sort of giant sea serpent that often lives in these lakes.
I go with that.
And if you're nice to them, they'll make a bridge.
Very nice.
They'll extend across, and you can walk across. Yeah, she's interested in those boxes.
I thought she might be.
Yeah.
I'm very happy in the confusion for her to lead one of the mules away.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fungo. The smoke screen has given Kit cover to pick up the egg, has given Velura cover to sneak one of these mules away. How long it will be before they notice its absence, I can't say. What are you going to be doing then, Fungo?
Do these guys, do they look like sort of cultists on the evilometer? Where are they?
I don't know. What do evil humans look like? What characteristics?
Well, a dark sort of like hooded cowl. Looking quite sort of as if they haven't seen or haven't had quality vitamin D in a long time.
Slight red glint in their eye.
Pink eye in both eyes.
No, I'll be honest with you. They just look like people, donkey handlers, mule handlers. hoping to get whatever they've got on these mules where they're supposed to take them.
I think I'll pop up and say, "There's a fire! Let's put out the fire. Let's form a chain from the water and get some buckets and put this fire out. Boxes or something. Lob water."
That sounds like a social task, I think.
It
This
does.
is charm or wits?
Charm. I'm not very good at either. Let's see how it goes. That's a good roll, though. A 5 and a 6. So 11 in total.
Gosh, you lot are just doing far too. You did very well last time as well, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
So there is some confusion, and it looks like nobody took control. They saw the fire. They know they've got a problem, but they were halfway through this ritual. Confusion reigns. Fungo steps in and says, "Form a human chain," and it's like they were welcoming somebody telling them what to do. So Fungo has organized this handful of humans into a human chain, literally. Kit, you're still in the shadowy undergrowth around the camp with the egg. What are you going to do?
Well, is there a way we can like learn that, like learn this little trick they're gonna do with the bridge and the, because inside Kit's mind, she's thinking like, oh, she's always thinking about like how to gain an advantage, how to gain new things, right? And like that kind of trick, she's thinking, can she learn it too?
One of them seemed to be reading from a scroll. Okay. While you think about what you want to do with that piece of information, let me go to Velura and a stolen mule. They don't know it's stolen yet, but what are you going to do, Velura?
Yeah, she's gonna get it out, into the darkness, or on the edge, and crack open one of these boxes. See what we got.
It's full of guns.
Oh.
Now, just for setting detail, guns, no one seems able to make them in the gloom. And there's a kind of tacit understanding between the factions that they're a bad thing, but they do work.
All right. Well, let's see. Velura's she's greedy, so she's going to pocket one of these guns. And we'll say she doesn't really, I guess she's never used a gun before. So she just, she's heard of them. She knows what they do. So she pockets one of these guns and she thinks that maybe we could sell these. And so what she's going to do is try to, what do you call it? Like signal to the others to say like, hey, let's get out of here. We got some goods. Let's get out.
I think that's going to be really tricky because in the same way that you took the mule away, far enough away from the camp to avoid the owners noticing that it was gone, I think it's very difficult other than going to find them now, going back towards the camp. I don't think you can just signal.
Okay. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll tie up, leave the mule there, tie it up, and then go back into the fray to get the others to say, hey, let's get out of here.
Okay, well, Fungo's in the middle of all the action. Fungo's organizing the humans to put the tree fire out.
Fungo always wants to be the center of attention.
So Fungo, you're busy with this unless you tell me differently.
No. While I'm busy, I will sort of speak to these guys and ask them generally what they're doing, where they're going.
Okay, I think that given that you've taken command of the situation, they will trust you enough to give you a sensible answer to that, which is, we're just, taking these boxes up into the hills. And points back across the lake, where you can see some hills.
On the far side of the lake.
Yeah.
You not thought about going around the lake?
Well, it's a very big lake.
Okay, and you're going to use these canoes?
Well, that was the idea, yeah.
Okay. So what was that? All that sort of weird magic stuff you were doing?
Now I think that you're going to need to make some kind of roll, because I think that they are busy putting this fire out, and now you're becoming distracting. So I think this is, I think you're trying to negotiate with them now. Yeah? So
Yeah.
I think it's charm or wits.
Charm.
Go on then.
Got 0 skill in it. And I rolled 6. So failure, mark XP.
And he stops, or she stops, and she looks at you as if to say, where did you come from anyway?
Oh, it was the smoke drew us. We could see it billowing through the trees.
Hang on, did you set this fire to distract us?
No, you started the fire, and I'll start backing away at this stage.
Yeah, in an entirely non-suspicious way. Kit, you can see that Fungo, you can see all of that. What are you going to do, Kit? Oh, you are muted, I'm afraid.
Oh wow, it's a thing today. I will scurry you. I will take advantage of the situation to sort of scurry over and see if I can like filch this scroll for myself. Well,
Okay.
for all of us, yes. And of course,
Okay.
and mind you, this is while holding an egg too. So.
I was going to say, so you have the egg under one arm, and as stealthily as you can, you're aiming for the person that you thought you saw was reading this scroll.
Yeah.
And they tucked it into their belt, and now all of them have been distracted from putting the fire out, because they're beginning to realize the fire's not that serious anyway. You know, their campfire blew up into this bonfire, but now it seems to have subsided back to normal. There is a tree branch alight, and then there's this suspicious Fungo. So their attention is on Fungo, but I think you're going to have to be pretty good to get this and get away free. So I think this sounds like reflexes to me.
Yeah, I feel more like a raccoon today than a fox, I tell you. So, yeah, let's roll these reflexes. Okay. Woo. It's a 9. It's an 11.
Oh
Woo.
My God! So their attention is so much on him. So what does this look like on screen? Because you've got an arc, a handful of humans who've dropped the buckets that they were using, and they formed a kind of semicircle around Fungo as Fungo is stepping away and they're approaching. So what do we actually see you do to do this?
Not to be all like Looney Tunes about this, but it's basically just like sort of dashing down. It's sort of like dashing down and keeping the ears low, and just sort of like flipping from cover to cover to cover, and just going over there, and then suddenly stretching the arm out real nice as far as possible to pick.
Okay, you have that scroll. Velura, you see all of this as you come back to the edge of the camp. So you see Kit behind this group of humans. You see Fungo on the far side of that group. You're on the edge of the firelight. The mule is behind you someplace. What do you do?
I think what I'd like to do is, I guess they're suspicious. Fungo's kind of walking back. I'm gonna try to get the bats to kind of attack the humans, or at least be in much of annoyance that that we can slip out.
So yeah, I think everyone has +1 for the thing they do next, and I think after that the bats will disperse. So Fungo, what are you going to do?
I think you see me backing up, but it's backing towards the shoreline. and I'll realise I'm sort of running out of land. So I will quickly turn tail, jump in one of these canoes, and paddle at full speed away from these guys.
All very Last of the Mohicans.
That's what I was thinking. A great day for a jaunt on the river, Major.
So that's what you see, Kit. You are behind these people, and Fungo has made a jump for the canoe and is trying to get away. What do you do, Kit?
Do I actually have any indication as to where Velura is?
Oh, that's a good question. Velura, do you?
Yeah. I think I'm on the edge because I was trying to get their attention so yeah, I would say since there isn't much chaos, she's kind of wandered to the edge of the circle. And if you looked for me, you'd find me. Yeah.
And foxes have very good hearing, don't they? So
yes.
It would seem logical that when Velura was summoning those bats with whatever kind of subsonic noise she can produce, maybe that's when you notice her behind you.
Yeah. By behind, you don't mean like immediately behind me, do
you?
No.
No. She's several paces back. Yeah, it's not kind of hello.
It'll give you a heart attack. Yeah. So I know not to push my luck anymore. I push it quite a lot today, so I'm sort of like scurrying over as my best as I can to Velura.
Okay, so Velura, Kit has come back to you. Fungo is getting away with a canoe, and I think the humans are confused. They're not certain what to do because he's just stolen a canoe, but they've still got the mules. There's the ritual, and then maybe they think that he's just committed suicide by just going out into this lake without the ritual being performed. In fact, one of them will say, "You're dead," they yell out at Fungo.
Dead, but got a canoe. Thank you.
What's your intention, Fungo?
Paddle at high speed.
Left, right, straight out into the middle.
So you said it's a really big lake. Are we talking sort of like what, Windermere size here?
Oh, I think bigger than Wind. Yeah, I think this is
pretty big.
Yeah, it is.
We're not talking sort of Lake Placid, sort of like
no,
Great Lakes in America.
No, this is not an indoor sea, an inland sea. It is a very big lake. So it is several miles in all dimensions.
Is that like Lake Geneva size or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not very good on lake dimensions, but it's a big lake.
You should have studied your lakes beforehand, Alan.
I should have done more lake research. I apologize. I wasn't expecting that rift.
Well, maybe they can add a lake.
Let's go up the coast. So sticking, I'll say, if the coast goes sort of, if it's roundish, I want to try sort of cut across.
Go that way. Yeah,
go that way. I don't know, 500 meters, say.
Okay. Velura, Kit is back with you. Kit has still got the eggs and also is clutching a scroll in one hand. Mm-hmm. What are you tempted to do, Velura? The mule is back there.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, they got guns. And I'll point to the mule, and then I'll be like, what the heck is Fungo doing? I mean, is he off the job now? What is he trying to ditch us again? I don't get this.
Off the job? I think he's off this rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly towards Fungo. And I can't carry him. I can only 70 pounds or less, and so I assume Fungo is bigger than that.
Oh, I think he's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
Big lad.
I'm gonna fly off to go talk to Fungo.
I stay with the mules and the guns.
Okay, are you taking the mule and the guns, the mule and the egg, further away from the camp, Kit? Because Fungo is heading up the coast. You could parallel him with the mule if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was thinking something like sort of like if if I understand you correctly, sort of like walk with the mule across the side of
Yeah,
the lake to sort of like yeah I can do
yeah.
that yeah
As Fungo is heading that way, you can be moving that way as well on the shore.
yeah. The
So
concept of lakes like really confused me because I live in an archipelago, so all the so we get surrounded by water. We don't surround water.
no, yes, that's an interesting conceptual challenge.
Yeah.
So Velura, you fly out, yeah, and the humans say, "Hey, look," because they see you almost certainly silhouetted against a moon. Because why wouldn't you? Um, Velura, there is a ripple out there in the water coming from the middle of the lake towards Fungo. What do you do, Velura?
All right. I'll be like, Fungo, get the heck out of there! What are you doing, you idiot? And I'll fly towards him. And let's see. Let me see something real quick. What do I have? I don't really have anything to throw at any sort of thing. So yeah, I'm just basically gonna tell him that something's coming for him in the lake, that he was an idiot for getting in the lake in the first place, and that we need to get out of here.
Fungo, now that Velura has drawn your attention to it, it's difficult to see from lake level, but there is definitely a cresting ripple heading at some speed towards you through the lake waters.
I will use might and I will paddle away from this creature.
The best way to get away from the creature is to go straight back to shore. That won't be very far from the human camp.
I want to use might to try and go as far away from the humans as I possibly can. So
Okay.
really sort of, put the speed on this canoe.
So really, this is to decide whether you can stay ahead of a speeding sea monster.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you roll with might then.
I rolled a 6 and a 5 plus 2 equals 13. You're a slow sea monster.
Yeah, it's obviously very clumsy and not very good in the shallows, because you easily outdistance it and get to the shore before it gets to you. The humans probably fancy their chances of catching you on land now. So I think that what we'll have Fungo come onto the shore just where Kit has got to. And Velura, you will have noticed the humans kind of pointing and saying, "There he is, let's go get him." And kind of heading through along the shore in pursuit of Kit. Velura, what do you do?
Let's see. Let's see. How many humans do we got?
A handful.
Okay, a handful. Right. All right. And where are the mules?
The mules are, well, the rest of the mules, another 4 mules are tethered just by the campsite where you found the one you took.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What I'll do is I'm gonna fly to the mules, take out my my sword, and tell them to back off, or I'm gonna slaughter the mules.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness me! Wow! No messing up.
I'll say like, hey, I know what you're doing. Back off, or I, kill your pack horses or
Now
pack animals.
I'm gonna check in here because we've got a line on harm to animals. So
Ah,
I just want to
no,
be
thank you.
careful
Thank you.
that we
Yep,
don't cross
definitely.
that. It's a threat. Is everybody okay with it being a threat? We're going to assume Velura won't do it. Are we content with the mules being under threat? Yeah. Okay. So the threat to the mules, and of course this now confuses them because they, yeah, I think that they're prepared to be intimidated, Velura.
All right.
So roll with charm
That'd
or
be.
wits. Is this a
Oh,
clever plan?
yeah, we'll do wits. I'm not trying to. Yeah, we'll do wits. So let's see. 2. Oh, total of 3.
You don't have a chance to kill the mules before they pile onto you.
All right.
Now, Kit, you will have heard this threat and then the shout of get the, I've forgotten what kind of creature you are. You are
Lugat.
a Lugat. Get the Lugat. And a kind of ah. What do you do, Kit?
Oh,
Do you go back or do you keep going?
This is your fault, Fungo.
So I can't hear that, but I have actually got an excellent sense of hearing.
I'm looking at the egg and I'm looking at the mule and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not running over there with an egg, so I'm gonna have to put this thing down.
That's what I thought. It's been through a lot, that egg.
It's been through a lot. And they're gonna be so mad at me if I lose the egg. So I'm gonna put the egg. I'm gonna look around, see if I can like cover it up with leaves or something like that.
Okay, you've hidden the egg.
Yeah, and I run over there.
Okay, while you're hiding the egg, Fungo climbs out of the canoe just down the shore from you. Fungo, you can see Kit is hiding the egg and preparing to head back to the camp. What do you do?
And I also heard, I know Velura has been sort of ambushed, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I see these guns on the mule?
They're in boxes, and no one yet has told you what's in that box.
Fine. I will leave them there, and I will. Well, it's ramming speed, basically. Let's start charging in towards these humans.
So
I can feel a headbutting coming on.
Velura, I think I'm going to inflict 1 point of damage on you just for them piling on. And they pretty much have you subdued under a pile of people. So Kit, I think it's likely that Fungo just sprints past you unless you want to get there first.
Actually, I wanted to ask this question, but I guess I made this assumption. Do the guns work in this plane, or is it?
They do. They're difficult to make for reasons no one's clear about. Maybe they can't make the gunpowder.
Oh, okay. I was confused because I thought nobody could make them because they wouldn't work here. Like they would take the parts and put it together, and it would just go like that, like all over, or whatever.
No, they do work. They do work. Let's say that they cannot make the ammunition for it.
Okay. I grabbed 2 guns and I run over it with the intention of handing the other one to Fungo.
Okay, I think that probably Fungo is going to get to the fray before you have a chance to do that, given that he's building up ramming speed.
If I arrive there and he's in the fray, then I'm giving the other gun to Velura.
Okay.
I only have 2 hands.
Exactly so. And now the egg is safe. That's fine. I think Fungo, let's have you just charge these, head first.
Indeed. So using might.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's not good 2 and a 2. Even with +2, that is only 6.
Oh no, 6. They hit you, but you miss them. I think that they do 1 point of damage on you. Maybe one of them just looked up at the right time and saw you.
I was thinking more he sort of dodges out of the way and I butt into a tree.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. So you miss the fray and take 1 point of damage. Velura, let's have you try to free yourself before I bring Kit in.
Yeah, let's see.
I think this is avoiding attacks unless you.
Okay.
And how are you trying to avoid the attacks?
What I'm thinking is, well, I kind of pictured them grappling me.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. So I'm gonna start beating my wings. Could I do a loud screech that is super annoying to them?
You could
Kinda,
try
kinda
that.
painful. Yeah. So I'll be doing all sorts of just basically flailing, trying to get myself out of there.
Okay. That sounds like might.
Yeah. So that's minus. Essentially, she's just trying to fly up, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They have
yeah.
her. Yeah. All right. Minus.
Can she free
1.
herself and get to the air?
Oh, that's a 3.
Oh dear. You suffer the full effect. I'm going to give you 2 points of damage because those wings are not heavy enough to batter your way past these people who are just trying to hold you down. Kit, you arrive. Fungo is kind of stepping away from a tree that he just headbutted. Velura tried to burst out, but they grabbed hold of her wings and dragged her back down. What are you going to do, Kit? Oh, you are muted.
Wow, it's my day. So I'm going to assume that that Fungo, like when he bonks himself, he's going to recover in like a couple of seconds. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not.
No,
nothing
he's not
really do about.
going to be concussed or anything. No, I mean his head is built to do this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Velura is obviously like in imminent danger.
Yeah.
and so with one hand, holding a pistol or gun or whatever it is, like extended over to Fungo, sort of like saying, "Oh, okay, this is gonna be for you" or whatever, and seeing like the imminent danger. That's when I use the other gun to sort of like shoot at whoever is like, whatever is attacking Velura.
Okay, this sounds like reflexes rather than might, because it's a distance attack. So let's see how you do.
Ooh. Oops, I only rolled one die. Rolling the other. Oh, I rolled a 4 and a 2 plus a 2, so that's 8.
Okay, so attack 7 to 9, win lose. Player chooses one that fits the story. Both you and your enemy are hit. Now that's not possible because you've got range on them. Both you and your enemies miss each other. Hit, but now you're in a worse tactical position. It seems like you should hit them because they can't hit you.
Yeah, but what is the price I pay? Let's see. Yeah. So I'll hit, but do I take the hit? But now you're in the worst.
No, I think fictionally, both you and your enemy hit, but they're not shooting at you. So I think that because you've got distance on them, that works. But I'll only let you hit one of them, I think, because you might have got squeezed off a couple of shots. And one of them kind of just clutches at his shoulder because you're obviously not very good at this. It's almost the shock of the bangs that I think startles people away. Let's go back round to Fungo. Kit is holding out a gun in your direction, Fungo, or do you charge back into the fray?
I'm quite distrustful of guns in the gloom, so I will thank Kit, but I will warn him that they're very dodgy in the gloom as I charge back into the fray.
Okay, let's see if you can do better on that attack this time using your might.
1 and a 5 plus 2. That's 8.
Okay, 7 to 9. Win, lose. Player chooses one that fits the story. So can you see that on the basic moves tab? What do you want to do?
I think I'll go for hit, but now you're in a worse tactical position.
Okay, I think that as you charge into this, I think you catch one of them in the chest and he's just out. But I think 2 others grab hold of you as you charge through. So that's 3 of them out, 1 wounded by Kit. Velura, that leaves you with a single human trying to hold you down.
All right. Yeah, Velura's gonna whip out the gun. She,
Oh, yes.
you know, she's been trying to get away, and she's like, yeah, she just whips it out and shoots it, not really knowing what she's doing. Right? she knows there's weapons. She knows they're bad, but she just shoots him.
Okay. Now, is this reflexes on might? Because I'd allow this to be kind of gun fu.
Yeah, I think this is. I consider it reflexes. I mean,
Go on.
the I got the same modifier, so it doesn't matter. Let's see what we get. Oh, a 7 total.
Okay. So again, same list. Both you and your enemy hit. Both you and your enemy miss each other. Hit, but now you're in a worse tactical position, pinned down or surrounded.
Let me look at these real quick. Which one is this called? Attack?
This is attack, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is both you and your enemy miss each other. But I'd like to think that it. Well, how about this? I'm kind of considering a hit being I'm free.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Let's do that.
So yeah. Okay. How about we just do? Yeah, the only one that I think works if I want to do a hit is the last one. Hit, but now you're in a worse tactical position, which seems weird because I feel like I'm in a better tactical position.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, what about you and your enemy hit, but we'll count your hit as being there's now space between you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So take 1 point of damage. And so do they, and they stumble away from you, but you are now free, inverted commas. Mm-hmm. What do you do with that freedom?
She's freaking out, so she's gonna fly up. And she's still freaking out, so she's gonna shoot from above. Okay. I'll say she didn't. What I'd like to say is she didn't actually hit him the first time, but the bang, the surprise got her free. And so she's shooting, still not knowing really what the heck she's doing.
Okay. So we have 2 confused, at least shocked, and possibly shot humans. We have 1 winded human and 2 others hanging on to Fungo. So, Fungo, let's go to you first. What do you do with these 2 that are just hanging on to you, grappling with you?
I would like to sort of like smash them together. But clearly I know I'm at a worse tactical position here.
You are. So I'm going to give you -1 on your fight.
Okay.
Your attack, sorry.
Here we go, rolling the dice. Uh, 4 and a 1 plus 1, so that's failure.
Oh no. They hit you. Would you take 1 point of damage from each of them as they just rain blows on you while hanging on to you? Kit, you can see all this going on. It looks like 3 of the humans are out of the fray. 2 of them are wrestling with Fungo.
I guess I don't want to disrespect like Fungo's distrust of firearms, and also I wouldn't want him to get maimed either. So I put the two guns away, and this time I draw my bow.
Oh, a much more precise, a proper weapon.
Yes. Let's. Yeah. So this time I'm going to try to take out one of the guys wailing on him.
Okay, go for it. Let's have you attack.
There's a reflex roll. All right. Let's go. That is not good. That is a 6.
My goodness me, you lot were doing so well just 20 minutes ago. So on a 6, they would hit you, but you miss them. So I'm the way I'm going to read that is I think one of them, the arrow whizzes past his field of view. He spins round and sees you and runs at you.
Whew. Okay. That checks out.
Velura. There are two humans still in the fray. One is wrestling with Fungo. One is running towards Kit. What do you do?
Yeah, I think she was mostly worried about the one attacking her, but she's up in the sky now, and she sees the Fungo, and so she tries to shoot the one running at Kit.
Fine. Let's have you roll to attack with reflexes.
All right. Always. Let's see. Come on. Wait, what? All right. 4 total. Do I get more XP even though I'm maxed out, or is that just?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, clear it. Make a note that you have an improvement and keep stacking them up. Yeah, you are stacking them up at a fair old rate at the minute.
Yes.
They hit you, but you miss them. I don't think that. I think we just cancel that out. I think it has no effect at all. I think that the recoil makes you tumble back in the air. You weren't ready for that. So I think I'm going to have you kind of disadvantaged for your next action, whatever it is. Fair enough?
All right. Yep.
What about Fungo? One of them is left wrestling with you, Fungo.
Yeah, I'll just sort of start headbutting him. Hopefully that will knock some sense into him. Knock him out.
Those headbutts have been working so perfectly lately. So what could go wrong?
Yeah, there's a tree. There's a tree over there with a dent in it.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a lot better. That's a roll of 9 plus 2. That's 11.
I was hoping we would get here because there's quite a nice 10 plus for attack. So you've got whack, whirl, or wreck.
Well, it is PG-13, so let's not go for wreck on the man's head. What was the first one?
Whack, 2 damage and knocked down or backwards.
Yeah, I think headbutt. I've sort of dazed him.
Yeah,
I think whack.
I think he's out. I think he's out for out cold. And I think at that kind of sickening crack, and the kind of the one that's running at Kit, I think suddenly looks round and realizes he's the only one on his feet, and drags one of them away from you, and then gets his dagger. He's got his dagger, and it looks like he would hold you off if you went after his friends. Kit, what do you do?
So is this sort of like a panic move for him?
I think it is. I think that he suddenly realized that, there's only him on his feet.
I'll try to trip him up. So I'm holding the bow. I just sort of like, jump and like use my legs to kick his feet out from under him.
Okay, I can't think of a way to do that other than some kind of reflexes attack.
All right, sure, no problem. Let's do it.
You're not. No, because all of those have got a damage component. I think this is a physical task with reflexes. Athletics.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, athletics. So I'll go with athletics and reflexes because my might not good. So, oh, that's an 8. That's a 10.
You trip him up, and what do you want to be doing with him once you've tripped him?
Sort of pin him to the ground and just have him where where we want him, and sort of like confer with, I guess, after a moment's breath, sort of confer with Velura and Fungo, like what we're gonna do with this guy.
Well, I think he goes down on his back with you holding him down, and we close in on his face. He says, "I surrender! I surrender!" And I think that's where we take our commercial break.
Yeah.
Sorry, that my break is a bit late today. I badly timed that. Shall we be? Is 5 minutes long enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Let's be back at 23 minutes past the hour. I'll see you then.
See ya.
Okay, we're back from our break. So we cut when you had subdued the last human. And I think for the most part, they are subdued rather than seriously wounded. I think you might have winged one of them with the gun kit, but otherwise they are just subdued. So I think we probably open at the campfire still with them tied up. So Kit, we left with you. Let's start with you.
All right.
You wanted to question them, I think.
I didn't. Not really. I mean,
Oh,
I know
sorry.
that's par for. Yeah, I just didn't know what to do with him. You know, like I'm not. I don't. And I defer to others' judgment or others' suggestions. That's all.
Okay. Fungo, what do you think? You've subdued them, tied them up.
We can tie this one up too.
I
if
take
you
it by
want.
now I know that guns, are the flavour of the day. So yeah, I'd like to question these guys of where did they get these firearms from, and what they plan on doing with them.
Okay. I think they're going to answer you because they're in they got no option here. But I think I am interested in how you are. Is this intimidation or is this persuasion? What do we see?
I think this is intimidation.
Okay. I'm going to go with charm or wits, but I'm going to give you +1 because you are an imposing individual.
I'm going to go with charm. I'm not particularly good at this on either direction, but charm is the way. So rolling the dice hat, basically +1 then. And I rolled 4, so a total of 5.
Okay, well, that helps me give you an answer then. And the leader says, "Oh, Lord Durek will have your hide for this." Kit, Lord Durek is the Satyr member of the faction who commissioned the collection of 3 Golden Griffin feathers. It appears that you are all working for the same person. What's your reaction, Kit?
I mean, is that really a big deal? I mean, in the end, Lord Dulac, I'm sure he can treat his how should I say his contractors separately.
Okay. Velura, you know that you're working for Lord Durak of the 3 Coins faction. Does this affect how you're looking at the situation at all?
So our guns, I assume they're kind of contraband around here. They shouldn't. There shouldn't be. Maybe one's a big deal. A couple of mules of boxes of them is crazy.
I think that I think probably you all know that there's a kind of unwritten rule between the factions that no one imports guns from Earth.
Right. Okay.
Because of the potential destabilization of any balance of power.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, Velura is she's just gonna look at these people and let's see. There is she is she's a member of the Hallowed Nine, the theocracy.
Yeah.
And so even though she's greedy, she's like I think what happens she doesn't believe it. She's like, I don't believe you, and we'll see. The Hallowed Nine would like to know about this. Shall I bring you in front of them?
And I think the leader, who's feeling quite emboldened by by that failure to be intimidated. I think he's feeling quite bold now. And he says, oh, they're just, they're not important anymore. They're old has-beens. You can't live in the past forever.
Yeah. And I'll like, well, we'll take the guns and we'll deliver them to Durek then. You can go back where you came.
No, they're taking them for Durek into those hills.
Yeah. Well, oh, so he's not taking them to Durek. He's taking them somewhere. All right. What's in the hills? Who are you delivering these to?
Let's see if you were any better at putting him back. But I'm going to make this a -1 on your roll because he is so emboldened now.
Okay. I'm thinking charm.
Okay.
As she brought in the concept of the Hallowed Nine. She's kind of maybe forcing his hand in the sense of like, oh, well, these other people might be curious about this. We haven't gotten to a point where we're just not talking to each other kind of deal.
Okay. So we've had the tough cop. Now we're going to try to have the kind of religious cop.
Yeah. Good cop. Yeah. Religious cop, bad cop. All right. So a +1 total, a 9.
Oh, so on a 9, I think that success. Player decides one option that fits the story. So have a look on the basic moves. There are 5 options there, I think.
Social tasks. You favor to somebody. Heard of your actions.
I'd like to take a moment to say that maybe I'll scurry off and check in on the egg.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I'm assuming that you and the audience know the egg is safe.
I'm going over.
Well, how about I smell or hear something from a memory? Okay. What is it and why does it affect you?
So what is it and why does it affect you?
Oh, certainly. What I'm thinking is this guy has a particular accent that the voice is familiar.
Okay.
And we'll say I heard it let me think. So they're going to the hills for Durek. No, how about this? How about this guy? I heard that voice. What are the other ones? Iron Socialists. How about what I'm thinking of is I've heard this voice somewhere else. So not necessarily involved with just Durek, but how about I heard this voice at let me see. All right. How about this? When I was at the Banshee party, I heard this guy, and maybe I also even saw, and so this person, or smelled him. I smelled him. All right, that's good. I smelled this guy at the Banshee party, talking with, somebody from the monarchy, the Sapphire Throne.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so I saw them talking to the Sapphire Throne, and I'll say a corrupt member of the Sapphire Throne. Somebody who has gotten their hands dirty in the past. And so, is he truly working for Durek? Maybe, but maybe he has something else going on as well.
Okay, well, I'm very happy for all that to be true. But and I think that's what this interrogation comes down to. That's what you work out, that he may not be entirely loyal to Durek, and you've connected him to the Sapphire Throne. Okay.
And let's see. Wait, one more thing. Let me look at the basic moves.
Did you say sapphire throne or sapphire throat?
And yeah, we'll say in the hills. The hills are people that are, we'll say, loyal to this shady nobleman kind of thing. Or there are people in the hills that are loyal to him. That's where my mind goes.
Okay. Fine.
Just
Go on,
just
Kit.
to refresh my memory, sapphire throne. That's the monarchists.
They are. They're the
Okay,
ones
okay.
who sent the goblin, the brownie, and the pixie after
Yeah.
the feathers.
Yeah.
And if you remember, they said something to Shelly like, you're here from Lord Corwin, aren't you? So there's the hint of a shady monarchist already in the fiction.
Yes.
So that might be an interesting bit of fiction for us to build on. So that's all you're going to find out from them. The question I've got, though, is what do you do with them and what do you do with the guns? Fungo, what are you thinking as that we see the three of you talking this through?
I'm not really too interested in what we do with them. We've beaten them, so we could let them go. But I'm going to suggest that guns are inherently bad in the gloom. They will destabilize, the factions. If just one faction gets hold of them, and it'll end up hurting the people of the gloom. They can cause much destruction. You've only got to look at how guns have wrecked the real world. So I say we throw them in the lake.
Yeah. Was that a kind of general, yeah?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking Velura. Well, I'm thinking of in America, the Second Amendment gun nuts. I think Velura's become a gun nut in a very short time.
I was going to suggest I would say like, I'm keeping mine, but yeah, let's throw these things in the water.
Yeah, I've got no problem with you guys, helping yourself to a gun, but I think if these fall into the wrong hands, it will be really bad. So let's lob him in the lake.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. She complains. She says, you got to bring in your, your political theory and everything we do.
Yeah.
You iron unionist. But she's like, all right. She takes, Chasey takes 3 and then she dumps it in the lake and says, happy.
Yeah, well, I don't even feel any of that kind of protestation. It's just 1, 2, or 3 jerks with guns is one thing. An entire militia or standing army or whatever is something else altogether. And I'm like, yeah, let's kick those things into the water.
Okay, so in order to avoid guns destabilizing the future, you keep some, but you deny them to other people. That's perfectly logical.
Yeah.
Well, it's just us and our small band of ruffians.
It is. Paul, you've gone very fuzzy.
Yeah.
Good.
No, you're still fuzzy.
No, I'm still very fuzzy.
I think this was a gloom event.
I think
it is a gloom event.
Okay, as long as you know, you can try and sort it out.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay. And all of that came out of one of these bloody outdoor adventuring moves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to have another one of those. What I want is to have. Let me think.
Oh, can I level up?
Oh yeah. I mean, if anybody wants to cash in some,
everybody does.
Fine. Well, why don't we do that now? So before we get to another episode, we know what we're dealing with.
Where should I stick? Do I get in move, or let's see, is the level up? I guess it's probably in the other moves or something.
That's a good question. Hang on a second. Advancement. Let me just check the rules. I thought this was straightforward, but I might be wrong. Advancement. Okay. Okay. Advancement. Okay, okay. As your character explores, blah, blah, blah. Advancements are +1 to an attribute, maximum +3.
Mm-hmm.
Additional playbook move from your playbook. Additional magic move from any playbook. Or a ritual move.
All right.
I don't know what a ritual move is yet, but I'm happy to look that up.
I think they're below. Are they below?
Oh, they are. Yeah. I think they are. I think you're right, Paul. Let's have a look. I know I've seen them.
I'm going to add 1 to an ability. An attribute.
All right. I'm taking a magic move. I saw that that neat trick you pulled there, so
I would actually also like to cast some magic. Just in case this completely wrecks things.
I'm just, it is a curious question of where you put the moves.
On the sheet, yeah.
Hang on, let me create a bit of space in here. There we go. That should do the job for now. There you go. That'll do for now.
All right. Woo!
So you get a move and a +1?
No, just the one.
Okay.
It's an either or.
So either a stat boost, a playbook move of your own playbook, or a magic move from any playbook.
Yeah.
Got it. I saw that neat trick that Fungo pulled off, so I tried to learn it on my own with illusions.
So yeah, I see. On the remaining trip to the city, we see Fungo teaching Kit how to cast illusions. Sorry, Greg, what are you going to say?
So Velura's pretty damaged, I guess.
Well, that's what I was going to heal. Velura.
Thank you. Yep, I was going that way. Cool.
So I would like to cast Alan healing.
Oh, yes. So weave magic then.
Okay, here we go. That's expertise, isn't it?
I think it's expertise or charm. Yeah,
both
charm
are
or
+1.
expertise.
So I rolled 10 +1, 11.
Fine. So whatever it says, mend 6 wounds or remove blah blah blah.
All right, Fungo, you're okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yelling at you about the boat. I'm sorry. You're right about the guns. So sorry about that.
Funny, healing always seems to change people's minds.
Yeah, no one likes the cleric except when they need them. Okay. So with all that in mind, I'm determined to get you to this city. So I'm going to cut to the gates of Murias, which you can see behind me. Kit, what your patron, Lord Durak, sent you to get 3 Golden Griffin feathers. Now it turns out that you have 3 Golden Griffin feathers. You have 3 molted Golden Griffin feathers that aren't in quite such good condition, and you have a Griffin egg. So you've arrived back with rather more than you expected. So Kit,
and some guns.
Say again?
And some guns.
And some guns. Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to declare the guns.
Well, I don't know if we had, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
So Kit, you're the member of this faction. This is the nearest thing to a home city that you have. So I think we're down to you to decide what happens next.
I think. Well,
You want to give him the dodgy feathers or the good feathers?
I think giving unless you object, I think giving the good feathers would probably He didn't state terms and conditions, did he? Do I remember whether he stated terms and conditions?
Well, he sent you to get 3 Golden Griffin feathers.
Well, I'm going to appeal to your capitalist side and say, well, just give him the dodgy feathers and then keep the 3 good feathers for yourself.
Yeah, no, just thanks gang, thanks fam for helping me remember how to think like a capitalist, because it's not in my nature. Yeah, let's do that. We'll hold on to the nice ones. The thing, and I'm just trying to think about like whether we declare the egg or as a bonus or something, or do we just fence it elsewhere?
What do you think, Velura? As if I didn't know.
Unless Fungo has.
I think Velura. I think we try to get, we fence the egg on our own, right? But I was wondering if if somehow we could get some information about these guns in Durek and how he's connected with them. I don't know if we want to ask him straight up or ask around him, kind of thing.
Fungo, what's your thinking about all this?
I think we should donate the eggs to a good cause.
Wait, no, Fungo, what, you heal me and I just lose my mind. I should have known. Who invited the socialist on our money-making expedition? Oh man. And you probably want to cut it. You probably want to cut it equally amongst all of us too, huh?
Well, of course. My good friend Bernie said that would be the best way to go.
I think they're called progressives here, aren't they?
Yeah.
So no, I'm happy anyway. So yeah, if we want to
distribute
the proceeds from let's sell the egg, cut it ways.
Just let me give you a little bit of background. So Kit, you know your way around this city, yeah? This is home, let's say, for you. So you know where to find Lord Durek, and you know where the seedy underbelly of the city exists.
Yes.
Yeah. Fungo. In almost every other faction city, there is at least a cell, a group of people, of Iron Unionists. So you might be able to find some of your people here if you looked. The principal population here are fairies. There are lots of, hang on, I had a picture. Hang on, let me find a picture. Yes, here we go. The 3 coins, this is what the military, the mercenaries of the 3 coins, they're Fomorii, who are 8-foot tall intelligent insects. So you will see these patrolling the streets of Murias. You will see them keeping the peace on behalf of the 3 coins. So it's important to know that these are about, yeah? So the idea was that you would try to fence the egg. So, Kit, I think you're the person who's most likely to know the best place to fence a griffin egg. Oh, you are muted.
There we go. I did again.
No, you got there first. You got there first.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make clear, I don't know if you have Durek in your head as a fully fleshed out character, but for me, I would say that he's not very trustworthy and has probably stiffed me in the past. But I'd say our relationship is getting better. Like, we've got a few big scores already. So that doesn't mean I'm not above going behind his back. So yeah, we'll try to fence the egg with someone in town, I guess. Are the Fomorii only like the Fomorii, what function do they serve in the city?
They provide muscle for the regime, but they are a culture. So there are all kinds of Fomorii out there.
I would say that if this doesn't contradict anything you have in the fiction or whatever, like maybe there is a small like trading post run mostly by Fomorii who deal in exotic goods of animal nature.
I can go with that. And
Yeah.
in fact, I think I have. Yes, I do.
I mean, for all I know, they just make these things into omelets, but
I think that there is a female Fomorii who runs this slightly disreputable trading post cum cantina down by one of the canals that run down to the harbor, because this city sits on a sea. So I think, what shall we call her? Let's call her Mother to Chick.
Can we declare?
Say again?
Can we declare, contradicting stereotype, that she has a great voice?
Oh yes, yes,
yeah. Like classy dame.
Yeah, and I think that probably she sings at the cantina.
Oh yes, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So Mother to Chick is someone who buys lots of different things from lots of different people. So tell me something you know about Mother to Chick, apart from the fact she has a great voice, Fungo.
Oh, sorry.
No, Fungo for this one. We've got a good voice.
Yeah.
I think her shop is a front. No, actually, could I say that she's known in some way to the Iron Union? I'll leave that to you, Alan, whether she's a friend or ally, friend, ally, or foe.
Okay. And Velura, what's the worst thing you've heard about Mother to Chick?
All right. I was actually thinking kind of along what Kit was saying, kind of playing against type. So the worst thing we'll say is she has insects. They like just spew out tons of eggs, right? So we'll say she is super vengeful if you harm any of her children. So I'm thinking she's actually somebody that's reasonable, helpful. We'll say for the most part good for the city, upstanding. But if you cross any of her children, and there's a whole lot of them, she can get vengeful or merciless.
Okay.
I love that idea, Greg, because because I think that if she has as many children as an insect would, the probability of injuring one of her children is really high. And
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. We'll say in some part, this is partly why the insects have made such good. I mean, they're also they're badasses as it comes to fighting, but in this city, everyone's a little bit more on eggshells around them, just
yeah,
because just because of her. Yeah.
yeah. All right,
Yeah.
cool. I love it.
Do I know your mother?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's lovely. That's lovely. Right. So bear that in
I
mind.
would say
if
there
you-
might be some. Sorry, there might be some people, some of them who, some of the Fomorii who will pretend that that she's their mother.
Yeah. Don't mess
Yeah.
with me. Okay. So set the scene for the cantina then. What smell do we get as we enter the cantina, Velura?
So we'll say this is a classy place, but it is one that not everyone goes into, just because you get things of all types here. Not things of all types, but you'll have people of all types. Business of all types happens here, and so especially with her children, a lot of people stay away from here. So
Okay.
you walk in, and we'll say that there is, we'll say it's some sort of insect festival, some sort of holiday that the insects do. It's like, spawning day or something.
Okay. So a rich scent of insect pheromones.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. A rich scent of insect pheromones.
They smell like pleasant spices.
Yeah. Fungo. What worries you as you enter the cantina, apart from what we already know?
I think the crowded nature and those guards you showed earlier. I think there's some of them here as well.
So there are plenty of Fomorii warrior caste here. Okay. And so Kit, given that this is some kind of Fomorii festival that's going on, is that a good time to approach Mother to Chick or a bad time?
I'd say it's a good time because she's in a good mood.
Okay. So I think we see her, the stage is set. I think she's just finishing, this kind of Fomorii. I'm thinking now Klingon blood opera, but Fomorii kind of opera piece. And glasses are vibrating around the cantina. And then a large chair is brought, or rather a kind of, it's a kind of stand that the Fomorii can arrange themselves in for comfort. And then she gestures, and clearly people have brought her gifts to celebrate the festival. So how are you going to approach her, Kit? Because this is your hometown, so I'm going to keep asking you these difficult questions.
Well, now that you've set the scene up like this, I feel like it's a little rude, or a little like, to try to sell the egg in this kind of environment, unless of course Mother to Chick has like an official channel, like someone who's sort of a major domo or a second command who's sort of like fielding more official business.
Yeah, I think she probably has a canny right-hand badger, one of the Furbolg. He's a crusty, wiry-haired, grey whiskered badger who's standing to one side, kind of organizing people. Yeah, you come here. Yeah. He's the kind of what's that phrase for the mafia kind of consigliere? He's to chicks
Yeah.
consigliere. And he's called Gruff.
Mm-mm.
So he's the man to, or the furbolg to see, Kit.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Fungo? You know, there's business to be done, but this is a festival day. So what are you interested in?
Well, if it's a festival, it's got to clearly be eating and drinking. So I'm going to indulge my vice of gluttony
I thought
and
you might.
just start partaking of the free food and wine that's on offer.
There is certainly, you know, mead and some wine and honey and you know, these the tables are laid out with enticing canapes. The only thing you have to be careful about is you know, what could be a hard-boiled egg could be not a hard-boiled egg.
True, but one of my playbook moves is eat anything. Well, I actually don't really care what it is. I will eat it.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you when you've had a bit more to drink then. Velura, what about you?
Oh, Fungo's all about, you know, looking out for everyone until there's a free buffet. And then, you know, everything's out the window. So yeah, Velura is she's a little, I would say tense, but she's concerned that, you know, she wants to get as much for this egg, right? She's like, oh, Fungo might give it away to some cause, and you know, Kit
Yeah.
yeah, well,
I
Kit's a
figured.
capitalist. Kit's a capitalist, so I think she's okay with that.
Yeah, but I figure it should be in your care, right? Like, because my plan is to approach, you know, the consigliere without the item, you know, just
Yeah.
sort of like hype it up, you know, while you take care of it, you know, so you can keep that thing
Now,
underneath your arm or whatever.
Laura,
like.
I did get the egg and I did carry it, so you know, everyone gets, you know, as the socialists say, everyone according to their work. Or, I don't know what they say. I don't
Take
know what they
turns.
say, but you know, I should kind of, I did more work than everyone else, right? So let's not forget that. But Velura is she is hoping to get some information on was it Dunkirk, or what's this guy's name? Dunrick
Derek.
or Durek? Basically, this capitalist dude, the Forever Gold guy, and the Sapphire Throne, the guns, and the humans. Dude, does anybody know about this sort of, you know, these three things and how they're connected?
Okay, let's have Velura roll a social task, I think, then, to see,
right.
to just, you know, mosey around, nosy around.
She thinks about summoning bats, but she'll hold off on that. She'll hold off on that.
So what do you think? Is this
10.
charm or wits?
Oh, I was thinking charm.
Okay.
You know, she's a schmoozer kind of thing. So yeah, she gets a 10.
Oh, fine. So what can I tell you about this? Well, you know, you get people who just recite what you already know. Our guns, you know, no, that the factions don't don't allow that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, because it's the cantina and it's that underbelly, there's people kind of saying, well, you know, do you need a piece? You know, there's ways to get them.
Yeah.
There are, you know, there are some leak over from the other side. They ain't cheap, but you know, how many are you looking for? One or two?
Well, I hear that I can't even think. Captain D, whatever this guy's name is, he's. I hear he brings them over. Is he the source?
Well, I did hear a rumor, and the rumor was that I can't put a name to this, obviously, but a certain satyr, a rich satyr, was setting up a pipeline. So, stuff they want goes their way. Stuff he wants comes this way. And I wouldn't be telling you a lie if I said that there were more guns about than I'd ever known.
And this Satyr. Yeah, I'm not good with words. English is my native language, but pronunciation's horrible. This does he work for D, or does he what faction is he a part of?
Oh, he's very much local. And I think he'll give you the name Jamis.
Okay.
I just want to accept.
Satyr. Sorry, what was that, Kit?
I just want to accept the idea that Velura actually can't get Captain Durek's name properly, and just like that. That's gonna be the permanent character shtick at this point.
Okay. Yeah. If you're whatever. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. So so the satyr is the gun guy, and maybe that's where everyone else is getting them from. Who knows? But could be. Yeah.
I think that, given you rolled well with that, I think you get the name Jamis the Satyr.
Yeah.
And I think that Kit will know that Jamis works for Durek.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, and Fungo has worked his way through the bar. He's now working his way down the buffet. To the end of the
I maybe grab some of the I grab things like the eggs, right? I try to move him out of his path.
His way.
Yeah.
Because the buffet is laid out as a kind of Thanksgiving gift for the new batch of eggs, of Fomorii eggs.
Yeah.
And so at the end of this buffet is a large basket of Fomorii eggs. So, but again, I'll come back to Fungo, and they are well guarded by a couple of big Fomorii warriors. But I come back to Fungo when he's had a little bit more to drink. Kit, how do we see you approach the consigliere, Gruff?
When I approach the consigliere, it's very very showy, very sort of like head held up high, chest puffed out, trying to make myself look like I belong in this world, right? That I'm sort of like someone important.
Yeah. And so he sees you coming and he says,
but I just sort of march over.
And he just takes you to one side and in that way that he has of never quite looking at you, but kind of talking in parallel to you, he says,
yeah.
Did you get what you were sent for? Oh no, sorry. I'm sorry. I've misseened entirely.
Yeah.
I'm so wrapped up in Gruff now.
I thought it was I thought he had mistaken me for someone else.
Yeah, no. I had a brain lapse. It's just you come to age.
Should we take a little break, Alan? Do you want to have a little break?
I mean, look, how do you feel? It is 7. I would have put a break in on the hour, but we were so late with the last one. I was going to play through. Does anyone want a quick break?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a quick break.
Fine.
Yeah,
let's take.
You can get your faculties back.
I'll kind of readjust the connections. Let's take a 5-minute break.
You're just so happy to be back in the city.
Yes. Let's be back at 13 minutes past the hour. I'll pause now. Okay, we're back. I've had a stiff shot of coffee just to get me back on track. And so so there's Gruff and Kit, and Gruff says, You slumming, Kit? What are you doing down here?
Just I have a opportunity for to get something nice for Mother Tick.
I thought you'd gone legit.
Legit.
Working for the big folk.
Doesn't mean I forget my roots.
Okay, step in here. And he takes you into a kind of cubby hole like office with a big ledger. And lots of kind of pigeonholes behind in which there's all kinds of stuff. And he says, so what's this about then, Kit?
I got something while, doing some other work that I thought Mother Tick might be interested in.
Like what?
An egg.
An
Big
egg?
one. Golden Griffin.
Okay, let's have you engage socially with this guy. So
Yeah.
Let's have you roll with charm or wits.
Sure. We'll go with charm, which ain't my strong suit. Let's see. Yeah. Dice. And that is a that is a 3 plus 1. That's a 4.
Mark experience. That's always the bonus. And his eyes go round, and he says, "You brought a golden griffin egg here?"
Well, it's somewhere here.
What do you know about Golden Griffin, Kit?
I know enough to know when I see an egg next to a golden griffin, it belongs to them.
Okay. So you don't know that they can track their eggs?
Do I know that?
I think you do now. Look, Kit, I hope this is just a really bad joke. But if you do have a golden griffin egg, give it back or run very, very quickly.
So there isn't any chance I could interest you in purchasing it?
What? Do you think I'm some kind of idiot?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Let's cut to Fungo. Fungo, you're working your way down the buffet.
That's the sound. That screaming is the sound of like what just happened.
Yeah, I think the scene is that scene in Animal House with James Belushi in the cafeteria, where instead of the train he's putting on that, he's literally just sort of helping himself as he's moving down this buffet line. It's all dripping out. It's all matted in his fur. Yeah.
So let's go with a mental task based on wits.
You didn't happen to pick a very bad stat, did you there, Alan?
No, I didn't look first. It just seems to be that keeping your wits about you.
I always like a good bit of XP. So
let's roll with wits as and Velura. I think you were keeping an eye on him, but I think you see he's worked his way down the buffet, and across the room you can see him getting ominously close to that basket of mother to chick's eggs.
Yeah.
So Fungo, let's see if you realize what you just picked up.
Okay, here we go. Wits at -1. Let's roll the dice. Oh, I rolled double 5. So 9.
9. Okay. Player decides an option that fits the story. Consumes resources, equipment, or time. Wounds, attracts attention from creatures or factions, or a gloom event.
I think basically I've got one of these to chick eggs basically in my maw, just as I attract the attention of people or a faction, maybe the guards.
I think it's likely to be the guards. So there's this kind of frozen moment in the cantina.
I haven't got a ball to put in my mouth, but
no. Has anyone seen?
That's fine. That's fine.
Has anyone seen the recent Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
The one with the eggs.
Yes. So Kit, you've come out of this cubbyhole with this piece of information. And you look around the room, and you see Velura, and Velura is looking at Fungo, and Fungo. There's a Fomorii warrior over the top of him, and you can see him with one of the chick's eggs there.
Oh,
okay. So okay.
I'm okay. Like I visually see that. I it's like hearing and listening only with eyes. I see that Fungo's about to eat egg, but I do not register what this is because I'm too overwhelmed by the revelation that has clunked on my head that I simply approach Velura and sort of like grab her by the shirt or whatever.
Okay.
And just go.
Let me just see if you get that far before Velura does anything. So Velura, you cannot take your eyes off Fungo's hand just sweeping into the basket. As this Fomorii kind of,
yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I should shoot Fungo. I don't think that's the right thing at all. And of course, can the bats help me? I don't know. It always comes to the bats. She will actually I want to summon bats to I guess the first question is I want to summon bats to like pester Fungo. Do you know what I mean? Like
to
just get him to stop
Fungo.
eating. Just to get him to stop eating. Like
okay.
Actually wait, I take that. Actually I'm gonna do some maybe I'll do something actually yeah. Bats are really the only quote ranged thing I have. So
well, I mean you can fly.
Okay, we'll say it's big. We'll say this is a big, like a big room, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's what I'll do. I'm going to fly across, and oh man, I'm scared of damaging the egg, kind of thing.
I was gonna ask that. I was actually gonna say, do I need to dive to the ground and catch that freaking egg when he inevitably drops it from his hand?
I mean, that would depend, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna fly across, and kind of tackle Fungo. Just tackle Fungo.
Okay.
Get him.
It'd be safe to say that mother to chick's eggs look very similar to the griffin egg.
Oh
no.
No, I think that's one too far. I'm not sure I can keep that. That's one too many balls to juggle.
One too many eggs to juggle.
So lovely idea as it is. If I'd not already suffered something of a breakdown, we might go there. So like an arrow across the above people's heads, Velura is in motion.
She's like, no.
More like a...
I'll let you decide, Velura. is it might to knock him over and leave, and then he'll drop the egg? Or is it reflexes to pluck the egg out of his hand?
I think it's more reflexes in the sense of trying to distract him, trying to get him to stop, try to have him come to his senses.
Ooh.
It doesn't. I mean, mechanically, it's the same. So we'll see what we get. 10 minus 1, a 9.
A 9. So on a 9, 7 to 9 success. So you have the egg. You have plucked,
Yeah.
You have the egg in hand, but decide which of those fits the story at this point.
I think what it is no one else. Well, how about this? No one else was really seeing Fungo. I was the one who saw Fungo grab this egg, or I saw where this was going.
But we had the guard as well.
Yeah, the guard is tracking Fungo.
Okay, all right. I guess what I was thinking is somehow Fungo gets off, but then look like I'm the one who was harassing the eggs. like somehow, like maybe he just thought like Fungo was picking it up, and maybe people would do that with the eggs. Like maybe it's people don't know he was picking it up to stick in his mouth, but I did. And so I just look like a jerk. You know what I mean? Like, why are you being so rough with the eggs? Yeah.
So we have Velura, arrow-like, streaks across the cantina above people's, steals the egg, and the guards kind of go, and just, their eyes are focused, and they begin to kind of come across the room in the direction you're going. Kit didn't fail, so didn't drop the griffin egg. What do you do when you see all this happen?
I mean, are there any other imminent perils?
What was that? Mother to Chick is merciless in the vengeance of anyone who might harm her children. So in terms of the pheromone mix in here, just went off the scale.
Oh, you son of a...
and every Fomorii in the room is kind of now alert and on guard, because somebody just stole one of her eggs. Is the way it looks.
Can we put it back? Can
Well, what are you going to do? Because you can speculate about that, but currently it's approaching that window over there.
Can I use
Velura's hands?
I will copy what Fungo did, because I learned the spells from him. Okay, so I will do my very first illusion. Will be the last illusion I saw, which is the smoke.
Fine. So there is almost certainly a barbecue at some point somewhere around here, or a fire pit.
Yeah, let's say the ventilation or the exhaust in this here cantina ain't so great, and suddenly now we're all cloaked in smoke and no one can see us manhandling the eggs, and then we're gonna put that egg right back.
Okay, well, you know what Velura is like. Who can predict? But let's have you weave magic then to see if you can make this illusion work first off.
All right. This is a charm or expertise roll. I'm try to roll charm here.
Can you charm the wood? Can you charm the smoke out of the fire?
Oh, you're right. That is expertise then.
It could be the fire spirit.
Could be a fire spirit you need to convince. Yeah, I wasn't pushing you one way or the other. I mean, it's you can use charm.
Well, it is a 5 plus. It's a 5 plus not great. So let's see.
Well, charm's not good for you either, is it?
Yeah, and neither is. Yeah. It's
Mark XP.
Yeah, I have done so.
And there's a kind of there's a kind of at the fire, and choose for me. Oh no, I'll choose. I think a gloom event would be an interesting thing to happen right now. So we're a town or city. Let me just see what I can do with that. You accidentally open a portal.
Again,
What can I tell you? I just rolled 12. 12.
I believe
in a
it. I
city or
believe it.
town, portal to fen or woods elsewhere in the gloom.
Do we
and I
fall through
will
it?
remind you that when you were sucked through that rift, you were in fact in some woodland. So it could be that we could almost go back to square one in this episode. Is that what you want to do, Kit?
I mean, it's either it's a wood or it's wait, is being sucked through this rift optional?
No, you're right. It's you failed, didn't you? I think
Yeah.
I, unless anyone really objects, I think I'm going to suck you back through that portal.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. It's gonna be woods. It's not gonna be a fen or.
It's
any
not
other
going to be a fen.
location.
It's going to be where you were sucked through the original rift from. So I think what we see is Shelly. We cut to Shelly as she looks at the three of you going through that rift originally. Because what none of us knew was that rift was not only in space, but in time. And then, just as you disappear through that, the three of you step out of the portal. Subjectively, you've been away for days. But from her point of view, you just disappeared, then reappeared. And I think that's a good point to pause. Because my brain cannot take any more. But Velura, you have one of Mother to Chick's eggs.
Excellent. Great. Yeah.
So let me get it straight. You got Mother to Chick's egg, and we've got the Golden Griffin egg. So that means we've got two mamas hunting for us.
Yeah. But if there's any consolation, once you talk through what's happened at Shelley's end, none of what you have just experienced has happened yet.
It's true.
Ah.
Okay. Well, my brain's gonna break too, Alan. So we're gonna have to think about this next over the week.
Okay, look, I'm going to call it there because I my brain needs a rest now. This is getting too dreamlike for me. But there is end of session experience. Here we go. So experience points. If you rolled 6-, so most of you have got lots. Also, per session, rewards for 1 point each. Have you gained lore?
Yes.
Yeah,
hell of
you've
a
learned
lot.
you've learned a lot. You've learned a lot today. So everybody gets an XP for that.
Yeah.
Have you explored and survived?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you've had a rough and tumble and you've blundered into some difficult situations. So you all get one for that. Working on goal with Fate Weave people. Yeah, you tried to achieve a goal. You did work together to try and fence a Golden Griffin egg. So you all get one for that. Did anyone role play particularly their style, vice, or virtue? So let's go around the table. Fungo, what about you?
Well, virtue is courage, so I did charge in to sort of back up Velura, who was pinned down. But I really think gluttony, my vice, really came into play in that last scene. So
It
yeah, I'd say
certainly
so.
did. You can have one for gluttony. What about you, Velura?
Well, the greed, she did grab the guns, right? She's always looking to get more. So
Yeah, no, I think there's no question about that. And what about you, Kit?
Well, I'd say for a fraction of a moment, like, role playing that sort of like prideful moment while approaching the consigliere was a thing, but
Yeah.
definitely also, like my modus operandi is just, just sort of be a little reckless, be a little like, risk things. And I think it was courageous of Kit to try to go for the scroll and, charge for her friends.
Yeah, no, I go for that. Getting that scroll, which we kind of just put away. So do make a note of that.
That's a Chekhov scroll.
Yeah. So no, you can definitely get one for that. How are we looking on the experience points at the minute?
I've flicked through again.
Okay, well then make a choice by next time. Let's do a quick stars and wishes. Okay, let's go in whatever order I can see you. Matthew, what about you? Any stars?
Well, I thought this was a great session. It was really fun. I don't think I expected such madcap energy, And by my impression of what you of your reaction the entire session, neither were you.
No, this was definitely play to find out.
Yeah, it was definitely a play to find out moment. I had a great time, like seeing Velura and Fungo, like their characters shine out, maybe even more so than the last session we did, because now I think, no shade cast on any other RPG session I've been playing as of late, but this is like really, I feel like this is a real gang. This is a real like, odd, like everybody in different RPG campaigns tries to make their own version of like, the Firefly campaign or whatever, where everybody's just like a rascal or whatever. But no, these rascals are like, really coming from the characters, not just from the players.
No, I get that. I mean, to be honest, there were the times in the last 3 hours, it's felt a little bit like we were actually playing Fiasco.
yeah.
Okay, Greg,
Yeah.
any stars?
Yeah, similar. Awesome. I do like, as Matthew kind of alluded to, that I think we're starting to see the character personalities and how they interact. That we're a team, we all work together, but then at the same time, our different viewpoints, where we rub up against each other.
Yeah.
I would say as far as the system as like a play test, I do like that for a lot of the 7 to 9s, they have some suggestions. I think that's actually good. I think that's good. Maybe not all the suggestions, they could be tweaked a little, but for the most part, I think that gives, like, the attack, whack, whirl, wreck, or the other 7 to 9s. They're all.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I think that's actually a good refinement on the whole PPTA system.
Yeah, I think it's helpful because certainly as a GM, it gives you some ideas of what the system intends you to do, rather than just invent a cost.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, any stars?
Yeah, I mean that sort of, we are working as a team, but there's individuality out there, and I think that's really good. Everybody knows where to push it, but then sort of bank off and just get the common good done. So I really like that as a group of players coming together.
I think.
Point of view,
go on.
I've just this week I got a really big sort of fate feel about the actual a lot of the moves and the sort of setting. Things like illusion, I think fate would handle that better because you're setting somebody up to do something. Where I'm not too sure in this system it doesn't doesn't sort of lead anywhere. You just sort of do it. I know you shoved in a few +1s there, Alan, but you know that's not sort of down in the system. That was your interpretation of it, which was really good. But I'm not too sure some of the moves they don't sort of lead to anything.
I know what you mean.
They do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. And that, I think that's why I've begun to put those +1s or -1s in, just because it seems to give them some mechanical effect rather than just, you know, because what do you do when you get a smoke screen? Okay, there's a smoke screen. Do you all run away, or you know? So I think there is something about.
I just got a lot of sort of like you know, create an advantage, and also playing to the vice and virtues. You know, there's some good, you know, fate there. You could have tempted me with a fate point in a few situations, I thought, which sort of this system didn't have. But you know, I really enjoy it though. It is a very enjoyable system.
Good. Let's go round for wishes for next time then. Matthew?
I just want to throw down an additional star, like for you, Alan, right now, because one thing I thought about as this game was progressing was that I thought for a while, like when you're so busy playing and you're not really paying attention to like how the GM is running things, but just like sort of reacting, I thought that this sort of madcap energy and the whole like plotting of the whole thing was like something that was premeditated, as it often is among many GMs. And then of course now that when I hear you talking about how your brain broke, and I hear you talk about like, and in hindsight I go like, oh yeah, we were supposed to arrive at the city first before all of that happened. Like, so you know, I'm really appreciating like, so this star is for me appreciating how when you see something crazy, like you really, you know, you really follow it. You really allow us to chase it. And, you know, that's, and maybe even at the cost of whatever, like, you know, goal you had in mind. And not just that, because that can really lead to chaos in the hands of other GMs. But you find a way to make it feel so enriching that, you know, like I said, it had me believe that this is part of the plan. It was only when I looked back and I was like,
Yeah, I was literally all set to cut to the gates of Murias, and I thought, oh, we'll try that outdoor adventure move, and the rest, as they say, is history. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Matthew. That's really nice of you to say. So, what about wishes for next time?
Wishes. I just want to see these plot threads go down the crazy path, like, you know. That Golden Griffin, you know, hunting us down. Now, like logic and common sense tells me to like put that egg back where it came from, or so help me, or like, you know, find a way to get rid of it. But honestly, I'm just excited to see like the trouble that we're gonna get in for it.
Yeah, well, you know, keep your fingers crossed on that. Greg, any wishes for next time?
Excited to see where the intrigue goes, right? With the gun shipments. I would say it's interesting. You talked about, you know, trying to get a head around the setting and where to go. And I think you talk, you know, kind of Paul alluded to this is it's almost like too open-ended in the sense that I think the 4 factions is really cool. I like the idea of these, you know, political factions in a fantasy world. You don't see that as often, right? You don't see socialism versus capitalists in a fantasy world as much. I think that's awesome. But it's interesting because it's like, does the Earth reality even matter? It's like, do you need the factions or do you need the Earth reality? And so I think that could, as a far of a playtest side, because I think when you have so many choices, that adds a lot more on the GM to narrow it down into a story. So I think so while I say there's a lot of cool things, it's almost like there's too many cool things, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like and I think that's actually a big, I mean, that's not good, you know. In a lot of situations in life, too many riches, you know, is first world problem, but I think this is actually more of a core problem that hampers all the good stuff. So
the buffet table of coolness is too big, Greg.
Yeah,
too big.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
want to back up what Greg said there, which is like, I kind of feel like there's like, for me as someone who's not really like familiar with the milieu as I've established before, and some of the other like sort of like paradigms of thinking about Western fantasy and like European folklore, like as I play this game, I realize now that the system is kind of slightly depending on the GM a bit more in terms of like flavor and mechanizing the lore, even though the bones of like the PBTA rule set are fine as they are. Like like so it's done. Like I have to think about this more. Maybe talk a little bit more with my wife, who designs games for a living, and helps me like parse these kinds of things. But I think like it doesn't go the extra mile to go from decent PBA system so far to cover everything yet. But again, I'm willing to reconsider that point once I like sort of like
Yeah.
chew over it in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm realizing, and this is a wish to myself, is that either we literally, as we have today, play to find out, and then this happens, and then that happens, and then that happens, and just wing it. Or do you need, as a GM for this game, to say, okay, we're going to focus around this, and things will revolve around this. And I think at the end of our sessions, I think I'll be in a better place to judge which way to go. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question about, do you need the Earth reality? I mean, I am determined to get Sabine to her Christmas fair. You need to know this.
Yeah. Yes. Of course. Yeah.
She will go to the fair. Paul, I don't think I asked you for a wish.
Yeah, just next session, sort of real world, because we haven't seen that. Maybe sort of de-gonzo it a little bit, just so in the final session we can truly go up to 11. You can't run on 11 all the time.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I thought today was good in 11. So let's let the roller coaster go down a bit, and then we can finale sort of wherever. But yeah, so yeah, just the real world, Salisbury.
Fine. We will certainly aim to get to bloody Salisbury. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. There we go.